Welcome to Learn and Play, a Peninsula Papercraft Boutique. Today we're going to be working with blending tools. So the blending tools we're going to be working with are the traditional blending tools by Tim Holtz with the foam pads. We will use new blending brushes. These ones are from Couture Creations. We're going to work with the Tim Holtz stencil brushes. And we're going to work with sponge daubers as well. Okay, the other things that you're going to need for today's Learn and Play is some cardstock. Now I've just used white cardstock and cut tags from that. It's House of Paper cardstock 250 GSM, and it works really nicely because it's nice and smooth for blending with the Distress Oxides. You'll need some stamps, so if you would like to do the projects that I've got here, you will need a fairy stamp. So this one here is the Moments in Time by Lavinia Stamps. The background stamp is Abstract Stamp number 8 from Darkroom Door. The stamps here that I've used are from the Stampers Anonymous Tiny Text, and you'll need some Distress Oxide inks to do these ones, or you can use whatever inks that you've got at home to practice and play with blending. You'll also need a spray bottle with some water and some paper towel. That we're going to use that to clean off our blending tools. So for the stamping of the stamped images here, you'll need either a memento or an archival ink. Whatever you've got available will be fine. And you will need some gel pens, so a black and a white gel pen. To create this one here is just a stencil, and so we'll need some stencils. I've got a couple here. This one's the hexagons from Tim Holtz collection and the large script stamp from Darkroom Door. And I think that is everything that we're going to need, or a stamp press to stamp this just in case, and a circle, just a circle, a scrap bit of cardstock circle to create your little moon shape here on the tag. But you don't have to do these projects. I will show you how I've completed them. You are more than welcome to practice and to play with your blending brushes at home. Use the techniques to create whatever you want. You can do tags, cards, art journals, scrapbooking pages, whatever your focus is on today. So let's get started. Okay, so the first technique that we're going to go through is with blending tools. Now, blending tools are a fantastic tool, and I know many companies produce them. These ones are from Ranger, and they come with a foam pad. So I'm just going to show you with mustard seed and worn lipstick Distress Oxide, but again, these techniques are going to work with whatever colours you would like to work on. So to start off, you're going to ink up your blending tool. Try to hold it like a pen rather than holding it over the top and putting pressure on like that, because you need to hold it on a slight angle to get that really nice blended finish. Tap off the colour. Start on the edge with a really light pressure and just rotate it. So as the colour comes out onto your cardstock, you're just going to add a little bit more pressure to get more of the colour on there. And remember to hold it at that angle and come in from your edge. And you will get a beautifully blended piece of cardstock. So you'll find that it covers the cardstock very quickly. If it's not quite bright enough that you want to go a little bit darker, just add some more ink, tap off again, and then come back in, and then you'll get a brighter colour. So it's always important to try to build up slowly. Don't feel like you have to put all of the ink onto your page straight away. Sometimes if we come in and we're holding it over the top and we're putting pressure on it this way, we're going to end up with a big ring of colour, which is really hard to blend out. So that's why it's important to hold it like a pen and on at a slight angle, just with nice, slow, even pressure. Don't rush it, just enjoy the process. Okay, so we'll move on to adding some more lipstick on the bottom. So we're going to turn this around, and to avoid getting fingerprints or ink on your fingers, just grab a scrap piece of cardstock to hold your tag down. And again, we're just going to blend from the edges, blending on a slight angle. Until we're happy with the result. You can see there in that corner that I didn't tap off that first go, so I do have a bit of extra ink in that corner, and that's what happens and why it's important to tap off that ink when you first go to use it. So you come through to the middle of the colours, blend those colours in. So again, if you want it to be a bit darker, just add some ink, more ink on, and add that ink. So the more layers that you add on, the darker it's going to become. So we might make that a little bit darker. Get that nice blend across the middle. If you find that you've gone up this way and you'd rather bring some more of the yellow down, you can grab your blending tool with the yellow and just bring that colour back down. And that will give a beautifully soft blended edge between the two colours. And how quick and easy is that to complete a beautiful tag? Nice and quick and easy, beautiful coverage. So those top tips with our blending tools. When you're inking up, you need to tap off before you go to your project to hold it like a pen and come in at a slight angle with nice even pressure, not too hard. Just relax and enjoy the process of putting the ink on. Okay, so we'll pop those ones aside. We'll grab some paper towel just to clear off our craft mat. So this one is the glass media mat from Couture Creations and Lucy from Archet Angel. It's a fantastic little mat and available on our website, on our online store. Okay, so the next one is probably my favourite of the four, and that is the new blending brushes. So these come from Couture Creations in a pack of 10 with their own convenient little storage stand. So they're a great product, and I know lots of companies around the world do sell these type of brushes now. So the difference in these from the blending tools is that you're going to get a lot lighter coverage, and it depends on the colors that you're using as to how heavy and that, because sometimes some ink pads are really inky and you get lots and lots of ink, but that's okay. Again, you can just tap off and work through that. So same thing with this one, tapping off, make sure you're coming from the edges and it's nice even pressure. You don't want to start holding the head down, because you'll find that you'll get when you have. So if we tap that off and we start in with the head, we're going to end up with these chunky bits of ink that don't look very nice. So if you just hold it back on the handle, get a nice even pressure, you're going to end up with a lot nicer coverage of your tag. And then as the ink is less and less on the brush, then you can come down to hold the head to really sort of just blend that in. So this is a great way of being able to start with a little bit of ink and build up that colour rather than adding lots and lots of colour straight away. And scrap bit of cardstock to stop any fingerprint marks or getting your fingers nice and inky. Nice even pressure. So you'll find the part of the brush that is most comfortable for you to hold. Just practice and play. See what works for you. See what you prefer, how you prefer to hold it, how you prefer to use it. Everybody's different and we all like different things in different ways. So there we go. Nice even coverage, beautifully blended piece of cardstock. And that's with the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide. Now, really important with our blending brushes is that we clean them off. So that enables us to go from colour to colour to colour without too much stress of mixing those colours and creating mud on our projects. We've all done it and we don't want to keep doing it. So to clean the brush, it's a bit of paper towel, spritz with some water, and then just brush off. There we go. Okay, we'll put those ones off to the side and we will go to our next technique. So these ones are quite new to me and I really love the effect that they give you through stencils. So these are stencil brushes. These are the Tim Holtz Distress stencil brushes and we have these available in the store. And I know there are many other companies that do stencil brushes, but they are fantastic. So we'll use the Tim Holtz Hexagon stencil and we'll use the Wright Persimmon Distressed Oxide ink. So we're just going to ink that brush up, tap off, and then we're just going to brush over the stencil, brush that colour on. And you can see as I lift that up there, that gradient effect that it gives you. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. It's amazing how much ink actually gets on these bristles when you don't think that there's any ink coming through at all. So it's a fantastic product to have in your craft tools. If you move this one down, tap it off, you've got more control. Tap on some colour and you can add some accents and some darker areas onto the stencil. So you have a lot of control with the stencil brush. It's a lot of fun. And you can always add water and play. As you know, Distress Oxides are very reactive. But as we're focusing on the tools today, we're not going to do that one there. Have a look at that. I can bring that closer to the camera. You can see that gradient effect and those darker patches and areas. And that's something that you're not going to get with the other tools. I'm really impressed with these stencil brushes and I really like them. Excited to use them more and more in my projects. So just a different effect. Okay, we'll put that stencil aside, and just like the blending brush that we did before, these stencil brushes, spritz some water on some paper towel, and then you're just going to take that colour off. Now I've seen a Tim Holtz demo, when he demoed these, he actually has these in colour families. So he's used a Sharpie to put the colour around the middle here, so he can go to those blues and greens and oranges and things, and still cleaning them off in between, but having the colour families, especially when you're going from a blues to a yellow, it would be great to have separate brushes. So they're a great product to add to your collection. Okay, so our last technique before we get into playing is our sponge daubers. Now these are cute little things. Not my favourite. They're probably the way I started with inks and ink blending, but everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. Everybody prefers different tools. But what these can do, if you do have them at home, are fantastic in adding different and gradient colours and different colours to different areas of the stencil. It's a fantastic little piece or little tool to have. So, sponge daubers. We are going to add a large script stamp. It's probably a bit of overkill with this little tag, but that's okay. It's what we've got to use. And we're going to add some different colours. So we might add some warm lipstick. Tapping on the colour, tap off, and then add it through your stencil. So because you've got so much control as to where that colour ends up through your stencil, it's a great way of being able to add multiple colours and those rainbow effects, or just something a little different to your projects. Okay, so then we might add some right persimmon. Ooh, this one's really inky. Love it. Nice and bright. Okay, might add chipped sapphire. This one. Go. A bit of dusty concord. So we can just tap that colour off again onto a piece of paper towel if you've only got a limited amount and don't have one dauber for every colour. There we go. Might add some salty ocean in. Oh, I didn't tap that off today. There we go, that's better. And might add some mustard seed. So this, again, does take a bit of time, this technique. It's a bit involved in adding the different colours to the different sections, but the results are definitely worth the effort and a bit of fun. I'll tap that off. Do that one up the top as well. Okay, so we have a look. Check that out. It's so beautiful. So the effort is definitely worth it with the sponge daubers and being able to have that control to create different coloured in different areas. So another one that I did with this technique is this one here, and I did one on another tag as well. So you've got an amazing amount of control with the little sponge daubers on your things, but the creation of those different colours are fantastic through stencils. So let's do a little recap. Just clean off this mat of the 4 techniques that we have used today. So we have our blending tools. These are great to add lots of colour very quickly. They blend beautifully, but remember, holding it like a pen or a pencil and you coming in from the side, tapping off the colour and going very gentle, being gentle. We have our blending brushes. So these are a great way to add, again, lots of colour to your project quickly, but gives you a nice slow build up of colour that gives you that more of a control and easier to create those beautifully blended pages. Our next one is our stencil brushes, which create those gradient effects on your tags or on your projects, whatever you're working on. Having that control over light to dark, fantastic tool. And our last technique with this sponge daubers. So just having that, being able to control what colours and doing multiple colours onto your one project through a stencil. So there are our 4 blending tools that we're focused on today. I hope you've got something out of it and learnt a few new tips and tricks that you didn't have before. And we will get into playing. So if you don't want to follow along, you can pause the video now and you can work on your own projects, and we would love to see photos of them. If you'd like to email them or pop them up on our Facebook page, the links will be down below. That would be fantastic. Otherwise, I will pop on some music and you can follow along as I go through step by step to create these 2 tags. And we hope to see you soon in another class. Happy crafting!